Hello, I'm Roxy.
G'day, I'm Diana. And this is We Watch Stupid, episode 16, One Crazy Summer of season 6 of Before the 90 Days. But it's the last episode before the reunion, and the reunion looks dope.
I am very curious how they got Sean Robinson to do it because I think she's SAG and they're on strike unless they
Oh, this was recorded way before.
Yeah, okay. And a live studio audience, I think that's a first for 90 Day. I wonder if it's going to turn into something like who is that comedian who had like the dog pound or whatever in the 80s?
Is it an 80s movie?
No, it was like a talk show, and I'm forgetting the comedian, but he had a talk show, and people would be like, "Oh, oh, oh, oh." Okay,
All I
never
can think
mind.
of is Jerry Springer, but I don't think that was.
Or Jerry Springer. It could also
Yeah.
turn into Maury or Jerry Springer.
Oh yeah, with Riley and Violet, it could definitely turn into Maury.
Oh my god, you are not the
Yeah.
father! Oh my god, I can't wait to talk about that.
Who do we want to start with?
Well, I wanted to just talk real quick about the couples for season 10 of 90 Day Fiance, which is premiering on October 8th. So it's a couple of weeks, but they released the trailer and like little tidbits about them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 couples. Wait, did I count that right? 7 couples. Of course, Gino and Jasmine. Jasmine is still saying that she's 36. I just don't I just don't believe that she's 36.
How old do you think she is? You think she's older?
I think she's early 40s. Like she got basically like a facelift this season. We watched her face change. Like you don't need a facelift in your early 30s.
Well, that's if you have skincare like us, where we were told to do skincare.
She is near the equator. Okay, so there's Sophie, 23 from the UK, and Robert, 32 from Southern California. They show her, she's kind of like an Instagram influencer and seems spoiled. And then they show some scene where she's like, I don't know if I want to have kids. And then they cut to him like walking away. That's really that's really all we get of them. There's Manuel, 34 from Ecuador, and Ashley, 31, New York. She says she's a witch. We'll see
Cool.
how. I feel like every time we meet new couples, people are like with like Statler, she's just like, look at me, I like bugs. And then bugs like don't really come up that much,
Yeah.
you know? So
It's like a quirky thing that they like say on their interview so they seem interesting, like a job interview or like a cocktail party.
right. So they got engaged after 1 week at a New Year's. They like met at a New Year's party in Ecuador, I think. And there's some cut of like her sister or something being like, people don't want to be around him. And so I'm curious what that is. There's Justin, 36 from Moldova, and Nikki, 47 from New Jersey. She's trans, and there's like some storyline about him not being sexually attracted to her.
They're engaged.
I guess so, because yeah, he's supposed to be coming to the US. They'd known each other for 20 years. They tried dating before, which would have put him at their first meeting around 16 years old. What is that about? I'm very curious if they
Cool.
address that. I mean, maybe the age of consent in Moldova is much lower than the US. There's Anali, 26 from Peru, and Clayton, 29 from Kentucky. They met on a language app, but still can't speak each other's language. And they have a clip of Clayton with a bunch of animals, and then they open a closet and his mom is inside, and that's where she lives.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
If you can't tell, Diana likes to be surprised, so now I'm kind of spoiling her.
But I mean, if this is just the preview, then they like typically will like just like give you a bomb and be like, and this is where she lives, period. And she's always lived there because she thinks she's Harry Potter.
Yeah. Then we have Nick, 30 from Australia. Doesn't say where in Australia. Australia is gigantic. And Devin, 23 from Arkansas. And it looks like both sets of parents hate the other person. So that's good.
You have something to agree on.
Yeah. There's Citra 26 from Indonesia. Also, don't say where she is. Indonesia is a pretty big place. And then Sam 30 from Missouri. The only thing they didn't come up in like the trailer, and the only thing they say about them in the little like preview article was that Citra's dad is coming with her to the US, but he could just be like helping her move. Like that doesn't really say anything. Maybe they're just boring and they don't really end up doing anything.
Or the dad's like, this could be a serial killer.
Yeah. So like normal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what we have to look forward to. I'm excited.
Me too.
All right. Who do you want to just kind of go through them kind of chronologically? Cause
I still want to end with Gino and Jasmine.
oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to do Dempsey and Statler?
They open on like Dempsey kind of like angrily packing all of her stuff in the castle, and then Statler's like moping around being like, "Why are you mad?" It's like, "Why are you
You
like
do a
this?"
good Statler too. I haven't been having you do that.
Statler goes live like every freaking day. Like she can't stay away from social media. And so I guess on one of these lives she said that she had to be more dramatic to pick up for Dempsey because Dempsey was like weird on camera, which like I would also
Excuse
be
me?
weird.
She's
Okay.
the weirdo.
Or like Dempsey was holding back on camera, which like yeah, because she's like a normal person that doesn't need attention 24/7.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like Statler like did this to kind of get a rise out of Dempsey or something, but it seems like cuz now she's like just goes back on what she said that sounded so definite over breakfast. She's like, "Oh, well maybe."
No, she didn't even say that. It was like I didn't understand how that was a makeup or an apology. It was this weird like sorry, let's back up. We left them and they were having this like argument and like you said, Dempsey is angrily packing and Statler's yeah. But then Statler goes into the bathroom and it's like I just feel sick and she's like, "Okay, so what are you like shitting yourself and now you're getting like sympathy from Dempsey," which that's how I interpreted it. It was so bizarre. It was so and then she like comes back and she's like showered and changed and ready to go. And then they're talking and I don't understand. And then she's like, "Well, hopefully what we want aligns when we want it." Oh, that's the dumbest thing ever.
It all meant nothing.
Yeah. It meant
It was so
nothing.
bizarre. I also wrote down, "Oh, now Statler doesn't care about cameras in the bathroom." Like this is the least disgusting thing that's been going on in there, and like now she doesn't want anyone in there with a camera.
Don't call poop disgusting. I accept I know you didn't mean to, but I love poop.
Okay.
Everybody poops.
Okay,
Okay,
so
go.
you want people in there with a camera while you're pooping?
No, I call it alone time for a reason, but
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, you're right. Why? Yeah. Well, it's because she had to like just be this dramatic person that just then needed to be accepted and like loved unconditionally. It was weird. I didn't like any of it.
Now that you're saying that, I'm like, did she do this to like go have time to like figure out her angle and then come back and like say all this like baby voice manipulative stuff?
Probably. And I think it was like partially that, partially to get sympathy from Dempsey. Like, oh, she's so upset that we're having this fight that she's like physically sick.
Which we've seen her do before, have anxiety shits, but like yeah, it just seemed like a lot of baby voice, nothing.
It was horrible.
It was really bizarre. Then they're going back to Darlington.
And they like have this annoying conversation about you're perfect. I think you're perfect. And no, I hope that no one thinks I'm perfect. And I don't think Brody's perfect. And that's just, I hate how they talk to each other. I was really annoyed this episode, especially with them. Freaking Dempsey says that she can move in with her.
No.
No.
Now they're both just idiots. Or this whole trip was just Statler wearing her down. I mean, like, what is the best case scenario here? Like, Dempsey is in her mid late third 20s and knows pretty certainly that she wants to be pregnant and she wants to be a parent. She has a good rationale for it. Like, I really believed her when she said all that. So either she, like, hangs out with Statler until she's ready to have a kid on her own and then Statler leaves, or like she just like gets an ultimatum from Statler and then doesn't have a kid, which is something that she's really wanted. Like, I just don't understand what the how Dempsey is weighing the possible outcomes here.
Well, like Statler said, hopefully what they want aligns when they want it. What the fuck does that mean? It's not going to happen.
She's hoping to wear her down again like she did over this trip with the moving in. Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
It's kind of a weird, now that I think about it, like, imagine if Statler were like a 55-year-old man talking to Dempsey. How would that sound? I hope what we want aligns when we want it. Like,
manipulative dumbass.
yeah. Like, I'm just imagining, like Sean Penn talking to Dempsey about like what their future is going to look like. And I'm just like, it gives me chills.
Yeah. Can she just move to England?
I was wondering about that too, especially when she's talking about like Dempsey doesn't have like Wi-Fi or a phone or a toilet or like hot showers.
But also just legally.
And how is she going to get that done in a month? Unless she's already had the visa paperwork done, but she would have needed like someone to sponsor her. Like, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty illegal to like work in another country, receive payment, and not have a visa for it. And then she's putting it all on TV. So if they wanted to come get her, they really could.
Yeah. True.
And something about that conversation that they had in the kitchen before she left, like Dempsey was saying, like, I feel a lot of pressure to, get the caravan up to snuff. And I'm like, I also think you should do that for you.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little weird for you to say that this is putting pressure on you, because I feel like you should probably just have a hot shower and a toilet that flushes.
Yeah. Going outside to poop.
It's a bummer. Yeah, they're both weird. They make me very, very nervous.
I had such high hopes for Dempsey so many times during this season, but this just Dumas.
She's whatever the lesbian version of dickmatized is, maybe. I don't know. Or just like high on love.
Statler did tell us she was good at doing it. So maybe, yeah. Another thing we should say is Statler is nervous about going home for the couple weeks because this is exactly what happened with the last relationship. She went home. The plan was for her to move, and then the girl calls and says, hey, this is moving too fast. And so she's projecting that on Dempsey, which she should, and she should probably learn, but she won't. So
she won't. Yeah, it's just like maybe the same thing happens to Dempsey that happened to that last woman. Just like Statler leaves and then she has 3 days to like get rehydrated and let all the like sex serotonin like leave her body, and then she like snaps too and she's like, oh God, what have I done?
Hopefully she goes and talks to her friend again. We only saw him that one time.
Wait, which friend?
The friend that owns the Airbnb that she works at.
Ben?
Sure.
Yeah, he was hot. the hot one.
Let's jump to Cleo and Christian because I think they only had one clip. Because the next one on like chronologically was Riley, and that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, okay.
Cleo and Christian.
He doesn't want her to keep his favorite hoodie.
Yeah, it's just a rental. She looks so sad and so distraught this whole time. She's just like really, really in pain. And she explains, like, hey, like she's had to go through lots of different rejections and yeah, it hurts. I didn't take many notes about that, but do you have more on what exactly she had said about her experience with rejection?
I didn't, but we had been theorizing that maybe she's so into Christian because she hasn't had a ton of relationships. And it looks like maybe she's just had a lot of like one-sided types of situations, maybe. And so that makes her pretty sensitive to rejection and like maybe makes it why she wants a relationship so
Yeah.
bad. And she also says she's been in a position where she's in love, but they shouldn't be together. So we
Mhm.
don't know if that's one person in particular or if it's like a string of events, but maybe her picker is off because she is in like a scarcity mindset when it comes to
Hmm. Yeah,
love.
true. Yeah, like I said, she looks so sad, and he just doesn't. He's just like kind of normal. There's times where he's like kind of smiling, where it's almost like he likes that she's so upset that he's leaving.
The face he was making, he like, so they like say goodbye and he gets in the car and then she's sobbing, facing the bushes and like covering her face. And then he like rolls down the window and is like looking at her.
Oh my god, that was so weird.
I like couldn't make heads or tails of what his face was doing, and certainly not why it was doing that.
Cause he liked it. He liked that she was sobbing because of him.
It was so weird.
It was
It
so
was
weird.
so bizarre. When she's hugging him goodbye, she's like, "Try to hold on to the positive memories." And I'm like, "Well, you just don't need this guy that bad.
No,
You
you
really,
don't.
really don't."
Couple other things I wanted to say. She was wearing her butt plug necklace. His Casablanca voice made me gag.
Oh god. He's just so obnoxious. I think he's like he doesn't have real empathy, and so he just has to like he said in the car that he was like being strong for her, but I think he just doesn't know how to show real human emotion, so he's just like doing bits instead of feeling.
But he also wasn't saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna talk to you later today, and, like, you'll come out to the States or I'll come out here." Like, he wasn't saying, "This isn't the last time that we're gonna see each other, like, don't worry." Like, he wasn't like, he was keeping it light, and he looked like a jackass. He wasn't being empathetic, like you mentioned.
Well, that also kind of segs into what he says on the plane. He's like, I already texted her that already missed her, but I don't know how I'm gonna feel when I get back to the States." I'm like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean? Another thing I wanna bring up is while he was packing and they were talking about, like, holding on to the, like, positive memories, and he made it seem like all of the difficulties and all of the issues that were happening during his time in London were on her.
Well, because in his mind, they are.
I know, but sh and sh well, I think they're all on him, and she was kind of like, when she hugged him and said, like, "Hold on to the, like, positive memories," that was, like, her pleading because she was like, "Oh, I did wrong, like, it was my fault," where it's not, it's his fault, he sucks.
Yeah, this poor woman has been I think she's been gaslit before, and so now with his gaslighting, his she and her just being head over heels out of like, I don't know. Maybe she's like a love addict. She just really wants it really bad.
Oh, but she's so cool.
It's true, and she has the cutest cats on television.
Mhm. Yeah. Another note that I wrote down was he was talking about how their relationship has a lot of hurdles. She's the first autistic person that he's dated. She's the first trans person that he's ever dated. And I'm thinking, well, you're the first ugly idiot that she's ever dated. Like it's not all on her, it's him. Like you're the problem.
Yeah, he is that's you're right. He's not listing off the challenges as in like he's terrible at communication and he's stomping all over her boundaries. He's like, she's
Uh-huh.
defective, and it's
Yeah.
gross.
Bye, Christian. I don't
Yeah.
miss
Bye,
you.
bitch. I hope he never
Bye,
comes
bitch.
back.
Meisha and Nicola.
Yes.
Did you notice that when what are you giggling at?
her
What in
face,
particular?
her face during the proposal.
I do not think she liked it.
No, not at all. Not one bit. Not one single second of it.
Right here?
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who loves so much that they'll do it in public? Yeah, plenty of people. You idiot. You dum dum. We got to see Misha and love a cat one last time.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to point out then, the producer asked Nicola something about like, well, what would he pray for this? And he goes, God make Misha love me more. What? How about I don't suck so bad and I understand what she wants?
Well, because then it makes it out of his control. Then he makes anything that Misha does or feels or says out of his control. Just like chuck it up to God. That's why his version of like faith is so fucked up,
Mhm.
because it just
Yeah,
like just deflects responsibility and accountability.
yeah. But he was waiting for a woman like her, so it's really nice to hear. Just kidding, I think that's so stupid.
What do you think about this two-tone dress that she's wearing around the market?
It reminded me of something I would want in, like, I don't know, like, elementary school. Like, it looks like a Sunday Easter dress.
Yeah. All I
What do
kept
you
thinking
think?
was like TJ Maxx.
She looked good in it, but it was just, like,
Well,
cheesy.
yeah, she's hot. That does, and like she could make anything look good, but like should you be wearing it outside? I don't know.
You're not gonna make that dress? You wouldn't choose those 2 fabrics together?
No.
So he proposes without a ring, and then and there's, like, awkward, like, people clapping, and it's cringy.
Her face is just so horrified. Like it's beyond shock. She's in horror.
Uh-huh.
And I wrote down, she goes, "Okay, but like she was trying to stop it." And then asked him, "Do you know what you're doing?" She's so
Yes or no?
incredibly
Yes or
uncomfortable.
no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
And then I think him not buying a ring before he proposes in this instance is pretty smart, because he didn't know. I don't think Misha even knew what they were gonna say,
But you
what
can
was gonna
return
happen.
it.
Can you?
Yes.
In Israel, when you, like, haggle to death
I
for
don't
it?
know, actually, yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, yeah, so let's talk about that. In his ITM, he said something like, "I don't think she's gonna want something that's like 100,000 or 20,000." I'm like, "Okay, dude, huge price range that you just said right now." And then he haggled from over $1,900 down to a little over $1,200. That's impressive haggling.
Okay, but he also goes into the store and he goes, "It's whatever Misha wants.
Yeah.
Whatever she wants." And then the shopkeeper is like, the jeweler says, okay, I usually ask what the budget is. And he goes, no budget, absolutely no
I know.
budget. And then he's like, okay, here's this teeny tiny diamond on this very simple ring.
It's one of a kind.
One of a kind, no child labor.
He said no.
One of a kind, no child labor. And then he's like, whoa, 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 that's way out of my budget.
Yeah. Well,
And hackles it down.
the thing is, like, that's not how buying anything really in the States works unless you're at, like,
Yeah.
a fair or flea market or something.
Yeah, she's so embarrassed by
Yeah.
this. She, like, you can just see how, like that is so not sexy. You just got engaged, apparently. No ring, and now he's, like, haggling. Like, that's your worth, I guess, you know? And he's
Yeah.
haggling.
How much do you think rings cost?
Oh, I know. I mean, like, nice ones are, like, 5 grand minimum. Like, this always happens when they buy the ring on TV, though. The men always go for cubic zirconia. They spend, like, $200 max, no matter where they are, no matter who they are. So, I think this is probably the most expensive ring that's been bought on camera on 90
Oh.
Day, in my experience.
Yeah, I mean, the other one was, like, $83.
Yeah.
The other one came in a plastic box.
Yeah, it's not the most expensive one that's been, like, used on the show, but the one that we've, like, seen him buy for sure. I'm a little surprised that a diamond that small costs that much, but I guess the setting
There's no child labor.
there's no child labor, so yeah, it's very expensive.
Well, no, I was gonna say, yeah, that seems like, I don't know, they didn't say what the carats were, but yeah, I was surprised. I thought it was gonna be like $700.
Yeah, because it didn't even look like a full carat diamond.
No. But I if anyone ever thinks my ring is cute, I would drop dead.
Yeah, that's not what you're going for with the diamond ring.
No. How cute. Like, literally, if you ever wanna, like, just pierce my heart, tell me my ring is cute.
Okay, noted, I'm filing that
Yeah.
away.
Oh, that's cute.
I want a diamond that's gonna make you scared if you shake my hand or if I backslap you. That's the kind of diamond I want.
I was over at a girlfriend's house, and she has an awesome ring. I like, she like, I don't know, she was, like, with her kid, and I was like, "Does the kid get scratched?"
Yeah.
That's the kinda ring I want.
Endangering your own children.
Yeah.
You won't don't endanger the children when you're mining the diamond, endanger the children in your
Yes.
home. That's the kind of diamonds we want.
Yes.
Okay.
But she seems, I mean, she seems happy with it, like, she seems happy. Misha. Obviously, my friend is happy with.
She asked for another proposal, and I think in her mind, she's like, "We're going to leave the store and do something more romantic." And then he's like, "Oh yeah, just sit over here."
Exactly, okay. So, when Brody proposed, he didn't get down on a knee. I think it's because he's old, but he says because I like how tall he is. But because he didn't, like, get down on a knee, I would like, just for the weekend, I, like, joked with him, I was like, "Propose again, do it right." Like, I get where she's coming from, but that was so awkward in the shop.
He's driving her to the airport and smelling his own armpits, so that's cool
And he's clearly done it many times.
because she's sick of it.
Yes.
So gross.
Just, like, look and see if you've got those massive pit stains. Yes, you smell bad.
I know there was one episode where his pit stains were, like, down to, like, his ribs. They were like it was out of control.
But he doesn't care. No.
So she says she wants him to come and visit so that they can have, like, a proper engagement party, and then maybe he can, like, stay for a while so they can have a relationship while they wait for the annulment, and then he just thinks that's a terrible idea and she's a fucking whore that's trying to be a succubus and have sex with him.
Don't open the door for the devil.
Don't open the door for the devil. This is opening the door for the devil because you, Nicola, have no self-control or free will in this. It's the devil.
Yeah. He went down some like weird devil religious path that I wasn't expecting. And honestly, I don't think she was expecting either because like she said the whole time that they were in Israel together, they were sleeping in the same room and didn't do anything. So they're in her house. They can be in different rooms. Also, won't the kids be there? The daughters be there? So like we're really not gonna.
Yeah. I think one of the daughters also like went to college. I mean, she'll probably want a room when she comes back, but maybe she can just kick him out before the daughter come back, or they get married before she comes back.
Sorry, I just want to say, so she mentioned that she applied for the annulment 5 months ago and they're still waiting and they don't know the timeline for it. And she says that they can't apply for the K-1 visa until the annulment is decided. But that's not true.
No, I don't think so.
That's on them thinking that she's technically still married in the Catholic Church. Like they can apply for the visa, but then he doesn't have to activate it until after the annulment.
Yeah, totally. And like the K1 process will, as we saw with Gino and Jasmine, it could take like a year and a half. And I know this annulment isn't going to take longer than that. Since she works in the church. So
Mhm. Yeah.
I think she might be hedging, or she's just actually that paranoid about the process.
Well, wait, about the annulment process?
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't think she's scared of the devil though.
No.
No.
She's seen the devil. She done had sex.
He was so quick to say with praying when she was like, how are we gonna like nurture our relationship with prayer?
So I am, in general, a stone cold bitch.
Mhm. It's one of the things I love about you.
My like theory on people is like if they wanted to, they would. If Nicola wanted to nurture this relationship, he would. If Nicola wanted to stop smelling his armpits and grossing you out, he would. This man is beyond reproach, and like I don't see this. I don't see. They're probably going to get married because they're both stupid as fuck. But like, I don't think Meisha is going to be happy once he's in the US because it's going to be like parenting another child.
Yeah. And he's a virgin.
She has to teach him like everything about like simple human decency, which like for some reason his mom seemed lovely. I don't know what went on there. She probably just gave up because he's so dumb. That's my theory. She's like, he won't leave my house. He's 45. I give up.
Totally.
And then she's gonna have to teach him how to have sex. Or like, I don't know. She probably already has a collection of sex toys, I imagine. She's a grown woman.
You think she invited the devil in like that too?
You think the devil comes in on a dildo?
I think that he thinks that.
Oh, well, they're not gonna share a room for a while, right?
That's true. I want to say that I had extreme secondhand embarrassment when Misha decided to read Corinthian or whatever that passage is.
Love is kind. Love is, I forget. Yeah. Well, she's showing us,
That she's read the Bible.
that she's read the Bible. She and Nicola are meant for each other in the sense that they're, I don't know. I don't want to like talk shit on religion too much, but like you have to like let go of some part of like free will or accountability, I think, to have like deep faith of at least Nicola's kind, you know?
Yeah.
Did you feel like he had any kind of reaction to her leaving in the airport? I felt like it was shaking a hand.
I just think he's dehydrated.
Did you recognize this airport and getting stopped 4 times? Do you remember that?
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, man. Like, in and out, we got stopped.
And they, like so for anyone that hasn't been to the Tel Aviv airport, they, like you come in to customs with, like, your whole bag packed, thinking it's gonna be easy peasy and you're gonna go do your vacation and sit on a beach. Nope. They unpack your entire bag, wipe it down with, like, bomb detecting
Yeah.
material, throw everything back in, and then say, "Get the fuck out of here in 20 seconds or we're gonna murder you." And then you're like, "I'm, like, 22 and I'm so confused."
Dude, yes. I also want to say, do you remember after we had gone through the whole, like, them looking through our bags and, like, the explosive things, then, like, I remember them randomly selecting me to, like, go through my passport after I had already gone through customs, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "We're visiting a friend. Where are you staying?" "I don't know. She's right over there. She's picking us up. She's taking us somewhere." And then they're, like, flipping through, and they're like, "Why were you in Egypt?" I was like, "To see it." And they're like, "Why?" And I was like, dude, but then I also remember on the way back or, like, leaving, they tore my bag apart even more than they did when when we got there, and I was so over it, I was like, "Yeah, that's my dirty laundry. Good thing you got gloves on." It was beautiful, but like I said, I think we talked about this in a different episode, like, top 3, top 5 food, period.
Yeah. Go for the food. Stay away if you don't wanna be, like, depressed about the political reality of Palestinians.
Well, I just don't like I don't like thinking about politics at all when I travel. I know that's really stupid or, like, ignorant of me, but just, like, in general, it's the world sucks. So
Yeah. Smooth brain. I like telling my department director he thinks too much sometimes and it slows us down, and so I like being like, "Carl, smooth brain."
I'm gonna say that to my sister.
Just don't think too hard. Don't think too
Yeah,
hard.
let's do Amanda and Razvan. Okay. Amanda's last day.
This drugstore, this CVS Valentine's discount box set of, like, gifts.
Dumb crap.
Too little, too late.
Clearly, it's not. But this is her softer side.
I just hate her. I hate her.
And she's like prints out pictures, like, "Thank you, producers." There's no way she figured that out herself. No way.
I did notice that she, like, went out by herself to go do this and came back on her own because then Rosman came back later, so she's figured out how to leave the house unaccompanied at some point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting, you're right. Um, so they go to dinner, it's her last night, and what'd you think of her outfit?
I think it's, like, 2011 club wear. The dress, and she had studded,
Yeah.
like, heels.
I don't know what age that outfit would be appropriate on, but it's not 31-year-old mother of 2.
In, like, broad daylight.
Yeah, oh yeah, they definitely had early bird special. At restaurant. Did you notice that there was no name, it was just restaurant?
Yes, I did. Yeah, because they usually, like, zoom in on, like, the name of some place to, like, because 'cause they're filming there and give it some business, but yeah, just restaurant. Oh my goodness. What'd you think about their dinner order?
Salad,
Yeah.
and then some weird, like, banter about how, like, wine isn't her friend.
I think that means that she's a drunk and then she screams at him. I think that's what he's
That's
getting at.
yes, exactly. So she, like, gets right into it, and she's like, "So, where's our relationship? What's happening after this?" He says that his heart wants him to keep fighting, but his mind knows that she's toxic. But at the end of it, he's gonna stay with her.
Yeah. He tells her, "You are my worst enemy."
I like that. It's that's actually love, you know?
That is the textbook
Yeah.
definition of love.
That's actually the second verse of Corinthians.
Love is pure. Love is being their worst enemy.
Love is toxic. Love is just saying hurtful things. It's not
Love is a
true.
pile of CVS Valentine's gifts.
Tell me your thoughts on the card that she wrote him.
It says, "Sorry for everything I've done." If you have to say some shit like that, you need to rethink a whole bunch of stuff. Like, sorry for all of these things. Like, I can't even name them specifically because I did so much fucked up shit in a 3-week period.
When we first met each other.
Yeah. Like, I can't even I just have to say, broad brush, sorry.
Yeah.
And then she says she wants it to be a fresh start, which is, in my experience, one of the most toxic mindsets and toxic things that you can do with someone that you've hurt. Just like, because that assumes that you think that they're just going to forget everything that happened. And you get to be an angel now because you're in a better mood or not on your period or whatever.
She also says that he's her soulmate, her protector, and one true love.
By what standard exactly?
Exactly. Right? I find that extremely rude. And if I were Jason's family, very offensive. And like, honestly, if I'm Razvan, I'm also like, you just throw those terms out like, oh,
Totally.
willy nilly. Like, no.
This card apparently like changes his mind.
Yeah. So they're going to work on the relationship. He has his tourist visa, and she wants him to come out for Thanksgiving to meet his kids and the rest of her family.
So, interesting note about her wanting him to come in Thanksgiving. She had previously said that this was filmed in December of 2022.
We caught her in a lie.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty obvious it's not December 2022 because she wore a club dress to a restaurant and wasn't shivering the whole time. So, yeah. She's just not the brightest bulb, obviously.
Would you want to meet Billy?
Sure do.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. Have you met anyone who's like named their dick and like consistently used it? That name, I mean, not their dick, like use the name.
No, I haven't. The only thing I can think is that like they said like Willie and then it went to like I
That's what I was thinking.
yeah.
It's my Billy Willy. Yeah.
Okay, so then I zoned out when they were at the airport. I got over it.
She said in her ITM that they were meant to go through hard times so that they could, come out on top and and come back together. She also said Razvan and I wasted so much time fighting and bickering about stuff that doesn't
No,
matter.
Amanda, it was you.
Yeah, so that was you.
That was you. That wasn't we.
You're post rationalizing hardcore, and it doesn't make you look smart or like an angel. It just makes you look really fucking stupid and incapable of like self reflection or self awareness. Pretty cringe.
Yeah. So in this episode, we saw a lot of airport goodbyes. Have you ever had one of those moments?
I don't know.
Besides with
D
me. I know we always cry.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
had poker face. Do you remember when I was, like, dating that, like, Brazilian dude that I hooked up with in a hostel?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I probably had some airport goodbyes with him.
Oh. Where you guys are, like, kissing and you're like, "Until next time, my lust."
Yeah, exactly.
So I try to have these cheesy moments with Brody, like, on the regular, and he just doesn't reciprocate.
Yeah. Well, he knows he's only gonna be gone for, like, a week or a weekend.
So, he's leaving his pregnant wife
Not in your
in my
condition.
condition. This is gonna go on for years until one kid sees us making out.
I know you don't quit. You're not a quitter.
No, I'm not. Except for this period of time where I've quit drinking
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, but you have
because of
to.
my condition.
It's not your fault.
Do you know who hasn't quit drinking? Riley, because he's been drinking whiskey and smoking cigars.
Inside,
Yeah.
he says that she sent him nasty text messages
Yeah.
after he got back.
Nasty.
They're so nasty. And then the producer's like, "Can we see them?" And it's like the most tame, cordial breakup text on the planet.
I want to break up.
So nasty.
Please don't contact me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like a couple weeks later says that she wants to marry him. And then we find out a couple weeks later she says she's pregnant.
She doesn't say she wants to marry him. I think that was just her, like, follow-up text.
I thought that it said like, well, it said like I want to marry and have like peace in a relationship.
Yeah, have a peace in a relationship, but I don't think she said with him. I think she was just saying, like, "I want a peaceful relationship. It can't be with you." That's how I interpreted those texts.
So if I didn't know how she speaks, I would have interpreted it the same way. But I think she meant like, I want to marry you.
Okay. Interesting.
But at the same time, it is over text. So she totally could have like checked her grammar.
It is also interesting because she told him to block her in the first text where she's breaking up with him, but then she, like, keeps texting him, and he got it, so he didn't block her.
Which is a trap. He didn't listen to her.
So, yeah, it's a little sus, it's a little wackadoodle. And then he's over at Tiffany's house. She's inside, but she isn't wearing sunglasses this time, so that's
Future's not as bright.
Riley's telling her about the trip, and he said she was very mean to him.
The whole trip. Oh my god, the exaggerations that come out of his mouth and the, like, one-sided, like, personal benefiting narrative, you can probably say that better than me, but, ugh. I did write down, "When did they do it?" And then he told us, and then he told
Yeah.
us some more.
Yeah, so Violet told him that she's pregnant because I guess she came over the night before he left and were cuddling, and then it turned into fucking. But then he tells us that he's on some kind of medication that makes his sperm count low. So he's like a 1% chance of conceiving naturally.
Yeah, that it doesn't make sense to me.
And then she's also older. She's like in her 40s. So like her chances of conceiving would naturally be lower. So it is odd that they fuck one time and that she's pregnant.
I don't think she's pregnant.
Yeah, it doesn't add up at all.
And, like, I wanna give her the benefit of the doubt that, like, she didn't get her period and, like, maybe she had a false positive on a pregnancy test, but I don't think she's pregnant. It's just now that I'm about to say some other things about Riley's conversation with Tiffany. I don't get the timeline because at first he comes in and he makes it seem like this is the first he's heard about it, but then he starts talking about how she he wanted to have her go to a certain doctor that like also speaks English and I guess like get a DNA behind her back or something. And then she like doesn't want to go to that doctor and then like tells her to like play classical music to the belly and like no, don't tell me which doctor to go to. Do you know how uncomfortable this is? Like
Yeah, I don't know why he thought that was appropriate to tell her how to take care of herself, but it is it is so weird, and I'm like, "How do you do a paternity test overseas?" Like, he's gonna have to, like, go there again.
true. But you can't do a paternity like it's pretty my memory of watching Maury was paternity test before the kid's born is pretty invasive.
Yeah, I think so, because they would need to go get a
Like,
sample.
of the baby's DNA.
Right.
And that baby
Yeah,
is
this
busy growing.
yeah, it's busy. Yeah, this is all, like, so bizarre, and then Tiffany is, like, spinning this narrative, and she seems really worked up about the idea that Violet now wants Riley to marry her because she's pregnant, which, like, if she is pregnant, which I don't know what to think about that, I don't think it would be that odd to ask the person to marry you
No, especially in their generation, and especially in
in her culture. So I don't understand the outrage about that. I would be more outraged about the whole situation of like the odds of them getting pregnant and like where this is all coming from. It's very, very bizarre. He is sweating so much, which
take off
also
your vest.
a lot of people on the internet like have thought that Violet was like kind of wild and a little bit sus, and now I'm starting to maybe come around to that. This is all very bizarre, but I'm sure it's going to be great fodder for the tell all. So, we're going to have to see how that shakes out.
I just also wanna say, like, while Riley was explaining to Tiffany what happened, he made it seem like it was all on Violet, like, she came back to him, hands move, like, "No, man," and then oh my god, and when Tiffany was talking about if they wore a condom or not, and she was like, "I told you to pack," and I'm like, "Whoa, are you ta what is that how you talk?" Like, he did technically pack, like
Yeah. It is pretty absurd that he doesn't think he has any responsibility in this situation and is acting so surprised and like yeah, it's like and then she's being completely vindictive, calculated, conniving, when it takes two people to make a baby. So, is that your experience?
Yes, I recently learned that. I didn't know that previously.
um
Also, it's hard to make a baby, okay? It's not like that's why I don't think she has is pregnant because it would literally need to be like when she's ovulating.
when she's ovulating, a viable egg, like his one sperm that works, like yeah, the odds are really stacked against them. It's very, very bizarre.
But she is really calculating, so maybe she knew she was ovulating.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's why she talked him into this trip. Maybe Tiffany is right and yeah, she just wants marriage and wants to come to the US. Oh my
Mhm.
god.
It's
Like
so great here.
yeah,
Nat.
it's so amazing here. Okay, is that everyone except for Gino and Jasmine?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my goo goo. I just wanted to bring up something that I saw on Reddit. Someone made a very interesting point about so we saw Gino be bald in security leaving Panama.
So
Pan-
gross.
leaving Panama last time. And so he has a little patch on the nape of his neck, but the patch is short, which means he trims it. So he is so invested in that little patch, despite shaving the rest of his head or having no hair on the rest of his head, that he trims just that little patch and then wears a hat all the rest of the time. I think that's very bizarre.
Wait, I guess I thought he was so bald that he didn't even need to shave it.
I mean, maybe not, but yeah. I'm
I
just
thought
saying he trims that little patch and is very invested in that little patch
yeah,
surviving.
I thought you were gonna say, "Well, why doesn't he just grow it up and over?" Like like a comb up.
Piv, you're sick. I love you.
I'm totally sick, and then my head went to, "Oh, man, most babies, like, lose their hair, like, it's like crib head." I hope that my offspring has some sort of weird Gino type crib hair, just temporarily, you know?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Gino is back in Michigan,
And it's
and
been 5 months, right?
it's been 5 months since he left Panama, and he seems like a different person, doesn't he?
Probably because he's back on porn.
He's, like, ejaculating regularly.
Yes.
He has the dumbest laugh, and he's just so
Oh my
unfortunate
god.
looking.
When he was talking about putting on the socks, and he can oh, man. And he tells the producers about the pillow, and then the producers are like, "So that's her side of the bed?" And he's like, "Oh, she gets first choice."
Uh, the way that he's, like, showing us around his apartment, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I drink 8 cups of coffee. Oh, yeah, it's hardcore," or whatever, like, he's so spunky, and then, like, he's so terrified of Jasmine. Like, just even talking about what side of the bed that she gets on, he's like, "Oh, yeah, 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 whatever she wants. Whatever she wants."
That's the 3rd that's the 3rd verse of Corinthians. Be scared, and they can do whatever they want.
Oh my
It's all
god.
love. Okay.
All
Yeah.
love. His condo is like textbook bachelor pad with just like those just like builder grade like faucets from the 80s. Every wall is like painted a different dusty color. It's so bleh. I would not if I were I hope Jasmine remodels it and she's going to.
She will. She's perfect. So Dana comes over to help him decorate.
And wear a
Stupid.
Panama hat. Yeah, it was weird.
It's not a Panama hat. It, like, that really irks me.
It's a
There's a
bucket hat
fucking
with
yeah, Panama hat or the pan and he looked like a weird frog.
well, that's just
Um,
his face.
that's true. So they're decorating and they're gonna get this phone call from Jasmine. Jasmine is so nervous. It's incredible to watch.
It kind of really tells you that, like, her fits that she has and the screaming, like, it's part her being, like, an incredible writer, producer, director, actress in her own telenovela, and it is also a big part this woman is just, like, one of the most anxious people we've ever seen. And she's chugging coffee, which is really helpful.
Totally helpful. Uh, I loved her outfit. Thought she looked like a hot Panamanian Barbie, business Barbie lawyer something.
Yeah,
Um,
she looked great.
but she forgot her eyelashes and she forgot her earrings. And I think deep down she didn't want the interview without eyelashes or earrings.
You think?
So she manifested this.
Oh, interesting. Wow, you go deep. You are like an investigative
Yeah.
reporter here. This is the journalism we need on our podcast about reality shows. Incredible.
So, can you explain to me what happened?
No.
So, she's just sobbing on the side of the road, looking like
Why is she in a ditch?
yeah, right? And then the last scene of her is her in her high heels, like, in the dirt, like, waiting for her sister to come pick her up.
Falling over. She almost
Yeah,
tripped.
yeah. Okay, all I can gather is that there was some sort of processing issue with the application. So, they couldn't give her the interview that day. And then she seemingly didn't ask any other questions.
I know, right? She just panicked and ran outside. Didn't ask like, "Okay, well, when can I come back? When's the next available appointment? What was the issue so we can fix it?" Like just helpless.
Yes, totally helpless. And so I understand where she's coming from, especially because she is so anxious. Like, she probably was just like, this already isn't going the way that I wanted it to. I don't have earrings or my eyelashes on. And now I just need to leave. Everything is ruined. Like, I and so she just didn't and then Gino's trying to be like, "Well, they didn't say no, and, like, what was the issue?" And she's like, "I don't know, they just wanna keep us apart." Like, it's I don't think that I don't think it was Gino's fault, I don't think it was Jasmine's fault, I think it was just how freaking paperwork works. It's so like, everything is so anticlimactic in the legal system,
I
it's
know.
just like don't ever be, like, excited.
Yeah, like Gino probably forgot to check some box.
Honestly, or maybe the paperwork was perfect, but someone was out sick the week before, and they forgot the carbon copy of, like, the 4th page,
Right.
and, like,
Yeah.
that halts everything for another whatever.
I'm like also so surprised that she is so well, she's an anxious person, but I'm surprised that she's so flustered by this because she like worked in academia before. So she like ostensibly should know what like bureaucracy kind of looks like. But yeah, she's just
Yeah.
freaking out.
I guess I don't know what immigration is like, but my experience with the legal system, which is minimal, and then well, hell, one of my good friends, there was a clerical error, and she couldn't come into the country for 7 years.
What?
Yeah. She was married, everything, but she couldn't get a visa because there was a clerical error.
So not even her fault.
Not even her fault.
Jesus.
So, like, that's the sort of shit that we're dealing with.
I feel like that's where maybe like lawyers, like an immigration attorney might come in handy, like like Jasmine was talking about. Like not for the application now that it's lodged, but kind of like navigating these kinds of weird things that go on like this.
Yeah, and my friend did end up having to get a immigration attorney, but it was just like nothing was illegal, nothing was like everything was like above board, but it was just there was some like clerical error where yeah, it doesn't matter. But and then it was just like because of this, then that, and then that, and then that, and it just like keeps happening. So, but with even with the lawyer for Jasmine and Gino, I think the lawyer could just push it along faster. I don't think the lawyer is gonna do the paperwork any better.
Yeah, maybe.
They're going to do anything to keep them apart.
That is their main goal, except that she's at the tell-all, so we know that she makes it. Um,
Spoiler, TLC.
yeah, seriously. We're spoiled now. Anything else on
I
Gino and
don't want to
Jasmine?
see it. Move.
Okay, she told him to like move so she couldn't see.
And then Data comes around in that dumb hat and is like, "What happened?"
Yeah. Okay, do you want to talk about the like tell-all little nuggets that we get? Because they seem really good.
Yeah. Do you think it's just gonna be one episode, or do you think it's gonna be two?
Well, let me see. So first one is next Sunday. I think there'll be two. Then the second part on the October 1st, and then it would be October 8th, the new season premieres.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be two parts. So they give us some little treats. I thought the best part was that Tyree is only on video. He's not in the studio.
Yeah. And they're gonna call Christian.
I feel like that's also going to be a nothing burger. Like, what's Christian going to say? Like, sorry, man.
I'm in cahoots with
Oh, it turns out I am in cahoots with Sweet
Yeah.
Carmela.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet Carmela comes back. It'd be nice to see her.
Oh, it
She's
would be
nice.
nice. Yeah. Amanda say that there's some toxic people.
She yeah, she calls cast members toxic. Lol. Lol. I mean, not that she's the only toxic person, but like I feel like it's probably she, Riley, and Christian are like tied for me.
Yeah. I'd also throw Statler in there.
Yeah, probably. Razvan calls Christian toxic or something like that. It sounds like he goes after Christian for talking to women in bars. So I'm excited to see that because Razvan effectively talks to women almost in the same way, except like on TikTok, and they're paying him.
Well,
So
Razvan is flirting.
yeah,
Like
yeah, good point.
he's upfront about it.
Yeah, like this is his business model.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that'll be rich. Um Nicola goes after Meisha's daughters, which is gonna be a little bit weird.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
And
not
then
looking forward to that.
like Statler tries to give Misha some advice.
Yeah.
Didn't she say something about like, well, just be careful?
Yeah. We get the real story on whether Jasmine has a sex tape with Danny. Her answer is just going to be, well, I was really mad, and that's the first thing that came out of my mouth. Oops. Like, oh, and then it looks like Violet comes on to talk about the pregnancy hoax, whatever it is.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a fuck, marry, kill for you.
Shoot.
Dana, Tiffany, or Billy.
Oh, this is really hard.
Because you want to marry them all.
I think that I'm going to have to marry Billy because I think that would be a sustainable relationship.
Okay. Okay.
I would fuck Tiffany because she seems like a little bit out there, but she's hot. So, that would be a fun night, but I really don't want to talk to her about anything else. And then, yeah, Dana doesn't do it for like, does he do it for anyone? So, yeah, no.
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense to me.
Okay, I have one for you.
Okay.
Misha's ring, Razvan's pile of leftover Valentine's gifts from CVS, and Gino's Panama decorations.
Okay, so let me remember. Okay, so the ring's cute, simple and cute.
Uh-huh.
Haggled down $500. Then there was like the pillow and the blanket. Oh, the blanket and the candle. I do like that. And then the Panamanian decorations were like it's like the flags and the hat and the flags. Okay. I'm gonna marry those CVS gifts, okay? I love trash sometimes. There must have been candy in there.
Yeah.
Um, then I'm gonna fuck the ring. I've always wanted to fuck something cute and simple.
Nice.
Everyone kill the Panamanian decorations because unnecessary.
All right, that's
Yeah.
correct. Panama.
There's a Panamanian flag in the background.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh, on the preview for 90 Day season 10, she has I forgot to mention she has a fuck ass bob and like finds a lipstick in Gino's car and like
Yes. And she's like, "Oh, I forgot it was mine."
yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think that's all for us. So, thanks for listening. Have a great week and we will see you next Sunday for Tell All Part 1.
Woo! Thanks, everyone.
Bye.